Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Good morning, man, and happy holiday. Merry Christmas.
Back at you, sir. Dak had a quote about you the other day, and he said, maybe as much here recently as I've seen, whether it's Jerry against the clock and him knowing, which he'll tell you that, you can tell he's excited to help this team to make moves and do whatever he can in his power. So Dak is kind of talking about a recent fire in you that he has seen grow, and we've thought you've even been kind of even more forthcoming in being self-reflective here over the past month. Is there anything to that, Jerry? If so, why?
Well, I think that we want to continue, and I emphasize the word continue, to look for ways to get better. And, boy, listen, our fans deserve it. The players deserve it. The entire constituency deserves it. So we want to look for ways to get better. And what I think he's referring to, what I would hope he's referring to, is that what we've been doing during the year this year, what we'll be doing, all of this is planning ahead and has a lot to do with the structure, the salary cap structure that we work under in the NFL. So if anything, maybe it's more visible because it can involve roster, which is very transparent. But the real world is that I should be, every day, I should be looking at how to adjust, what to do throughout the organization. And I do that. I wish you could see my table in the morning. I'm sure this is not unique, but when I'm sitting at my kitchen table, it looks like a madman going down through all the machinations and the doodling. Well, all of that is really just kind of helping me think and go there of ways that we might change, if you will. Any adjustment is a change. And I believe in that strongly, and I've done that all my life. You have to, when you are independent or you're self-employed, or whatever you want to call it, boy, you've got to make a change, or you've got to be the one to initiate different routes.
Jerry, despite the drought, you guys, you're number one in ratings. The Cowboy fans everywhere. They're still the number one talking point on TV. Do you ever like get surprised that Cowboy fans are still giving you guys the number one draw and showing up and talking about them as much? Why do you think that is? Because a lot of times in sports, fans bail, and the team that doesn't make it, to the conference title game doesn't get talked about this much. Are you surprised sometimes by the dedication of Cowboy fans over the past 30 years?
Well, I'm rewarded by the kind of intensity and the kind of interest. We work real hard. But that's not enough to work hard, but we make a big effort to stay in the front of things and to stay out there and be relevant. And by the way, you change that drought. 1 year, you can change the drought. And then you're the latest to have gone to the playoffs or gone to the Super Bowl. So I don't pay any attention to 30 years this, 20 years that, when I know one good year would change it all and you'd be at the top of the list. So numbers of Super Bowls or numbers of playoff appearances, that doesn't work unless you catch it into, well, they haven't been there in 10 years, haven't been there in 20 years. But all of those, when you start looking at time, it's easy for me to step up there and say, I can change that next year. And that's what I'm here but wanting to do, and that's what our fans expect me to do in my mind. But no, answer to your question, I've known for a long time that what we do, how we do it, what we try to do, all of that has high attention, and that's part of why we should be and are as attentive as we are. And there's no question, no one, as a matter of fact, I can't imagine, this is pro football that we're talking about to be tried here. Nothing can happen until somebody has financially get paid. And since the day I walked in here, there's been no one ever have any control other than me of who gets paid and how much. And so that goes with the territory.
So, Jerry, why should a fan believe that anything is going to be different in the offseason, anything is going to be different moving forward in the next year after the last, like you mentioned, the last 30 years?
Well, yeah, it has been. It has been different. And then sometimes it's worked better than others. But we've had different records over the last several years. We've had different personnels, and so it is. It's what it is. That's when you go hunting. There's a good chance that you won't get any game, or fishing. There's a good chance you might not catch some fish, but there's a chance that you can catch fish. And we put it out there hard. We do things that can happen, that make things happen big time. I've done it. I've seen it happen. I know it works. And I've done it in a lot of things, not just football.
Jerry, one of the things you've mentioned recently is how encouraged.
That's my answer.
One of the things you've mentioned recently is how encouraged you are about the cap situation, and you've mentioned having cash flexibility. Do you expect to be active in free agency this spring?
I don't know. We'll see where we are with our own players, and we will see. I'll be active, but the question is the degree of activity. I can't imagine not doing things in free agency, but we certainly have positioned ourselves so that we've got some cap flexibility that we wouldn't have had we not done.
Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones with us here on 105 Through the Fan. Jerry, you've always spoken so highly of Matt Eberflus as a coach, talked about how you like having him in the foxhole with you. So is your concern more about the philosophy and scheme rather than him as a coach?
Not either. Specifically, in his case, you just should, just like you're doing with me and asking me, the big picture from 30,000 feet. Why? You're asking me the question, why should that change? The question we would be asking is, how do we change up the results of what we've had this year? And it's tough to put a check on continuity after such a relatively speaking short period of time, 1 year. And those are the kinds of things that will go through our minds as we're looking at the weeks ahead. But, we should be doing this. It's a part of it. You really need to be doing it when it's working good. And I'm sure you would say, well, you probably don't need any work on that offense. And but I'll tell you this, that offense will get as much attention and work in the offseason as it ever would have, even though we've had a great offensive year.
So, Jerry, after you guys traded Micah, you talked about that there are ways to scheme pressure, and that was going to be kind of a solution to it. Do you feel like the scheme has let you down in that regard this season?
Not really. I think our pressure is a combination of execution. It's a combination of quote, scheme. But you have to, when we talk about blitzing, for instance, or if you're going to run the press play, if you're on the other side of the football and you're trying to run that play, you've got to work at that for a lot of hours, and you've got to work at that during training camps, and you got to spend some time on it. You just can't come out there and say, we're going to blitz. Because you're not as apt at it, and the players aren't as apt at it. So it takes a lot of work, and to implement, let's say, and things that you emphasize in your scheme takes a lot of practice. So I can tell usually how we're going to really execute by how much we practiced it during the week. And so all of those things are part of it. So just to answer your question, it's not just scheme, it's execution.
Jerry, do you think, looking back, there was a bit of a misevaluation on what he is relative to the talent that you had on the team?
I don't know that that evaluation may be one thing. I would say that we are not executing, we are not getting done what we even run as a scheme. And so that's very critical to be tried. So, again, there's no evasive. The point is it's a combination of many things when you can't get pressure or you can't stop the run. And but you asked a question earlier. Yes, I thought we could devise ways to get pressure. I really think the interior of the defensive line we have. So I'm pretty optimistic about looking better than we have shown these last few ball games.
Jerry, with Matt Eberflus going to the booth, your defensive line coach Aaron Whitecotton has taken on some more responsibility in terms of personnel management on the field and everything. What have been your impressions of Coach Whitecotton this season?
Again, I don't specifically address him, but I will say that I was excited about getting Quentin Williams in because they had time and experience together. And one of the biggest influences that I had was the fact that he had directly coached him and knew what a great player and great individual he had. So, but the idea there is to not only have excellent run player and execution, but also be able to get pressure in the inside. And that was the reason that we pursued him. I did, even when we were in training camp.
Jerry Jones joined us here at 105 through the Fan. Take us through the decision to play Diggs, activate him, and how did you think he played?
Well, he had a better week in practice. He moved around better, and it looked like he was physically able to play, and that was the case when he got out there. And so that was the decision. Could he physically get out there and do the work? A big onus was put on him because we lost Bland. But basically, Bland put a certain urgency or a certain light on the situation, and that's how he got out there.
You know, Jerry, Trayvon has spoken during this season about some of his difficulties adjusting to the new scheme here. Is his future here tied or dependent on what scheme you guys end up deciding to run next season?
Well, let me say this. You can't play here if you can't run the scheme. And I had not thought that he's such an outstanding athlete that plays the ball so well. And I have never thought that while he might be better suited or have a better chance to use his ball skills in man, I've never thought that he couldn't make the adjustment and be outstanding as far as working zone. And so, again, it's all you can put it all in a stew, so to speak, and mix it up. But there's a little of all of it when you really look at how you're playing. The most important thing, though, is that is health and to be able to execute. I've said before, Diggs has such unique ability to play the ball that he has to absolutely be in top condition relative to being able to execute physically. He's really got to use his quickness and his instincts to get to the ball, and that takes being top health. And so you limit him a step, and you take a lot out of his game.
Jerry, Trayvon finally let us know how the concussion happened afterwards. My question for you is, and I can't do any of these things. Many people don't even define me as a man with these capabilities. Can you hang a TV? And where's Jerry Jones handy?
Well, I haven't hung a TV lately. I buy if you've got that thing above your head, and you're trying to work with two hands, and you're trying to do all that at the same time. I will say that thing would hurt if it fell back and hit you in the head or the nose, and that's apparently what happened. But I can buy that you have to hang something. Can get in a situation where you're hanging some TVs. I'll never forget. When I was in about the 9th grade, I was working at night, working in like a 7-Eleven, and my folks would pick me up about 9 o'clock at night, and because of school. And out behind the store is the tallest point in central Arkansas. It's a huge tower that all broadcasters broadcast off of. It had a fence that looked like it was around a prison. You couldn't climb the fence, and it had the barbs and everything coming back to prevent you from going. That bothered me, and finally one night I closed the store and went out there and climbed that fence. And I climbed that whole tower all the way to the top.
Whoa. Wow.
And when I got up there, I froze. I couldn't come down. Well, it looked like that there had been a fire that wiped out that entire part of town by the time the fire trucks and the police and everybody got out there. But they had to come up that tower to get me out. It was the tallest spot in central Arkansas. I know this, that my father liked to have killed me. And on the way home, he was driving, and he said, "Why did you? What were you thinking?" And so I just answered him truthfully. I said, "Well, Dad, it was just there, and it was bothering me. I had to do it." And I'm telling you, he almost wrecked that car, swinging at me over there, trying to pop me for even answering the question to begin with. But where I'm going with this is sometimes it's just there. You just got to do it.
So Jerry, Steven and Shoddy both this week after the game, and then Steven yesterday, have said that Tyler Smith is going to be the left tackle the rest of the year, and his future there into next year potentially is up for conversation or review. Is that any sort of indication that you guys have lost confidence in Tyler Guyton at left tackle?
Well, we all know how critical the left tackle is, and but Tyler Guyton has really got a chance to be outstanding for a lot of years to come, and he's got the right makeup, contrary to any questions about him. But the real question is, can we afford to have Tyler out there, Tyler Smith at left tackle? Can we afford that? Larry Allen, we put him out there and made All-Pro, but we couldn't afford to keep him out there. He was too valuable to us inside. So that'll be the trade-off.
Is there
what do we do inside when we've got him out?
Is there any thought, Jerry, to potentially moving Tyler Guyton to right tackle if you do leave Tyler Smith at left tackle?
You could do that for sure. Yeah, there's it is not. We don't have it done, or we have it thought to that extent as long term, but certainly you can do that. Needless to say, the position flex that you have there with Smith that we have, that it's just really a big plus for us, player of that caliber. And he's easily in the top 2 or 3 of the best players we got on the team.
Jerry, you were complimentary towards Brian Schottenheimer after the game. There's been some periods here as of late where it felt like the offense stalled out, second half against the Chargers. Well, what's your evaluation right now of Coach Schottenheimer as a head coach and the play caller / offensive coordinator, or the guy in charge of the offense?
Yeah, I'm very pleased with him. He's he's certainly the definition of a busy coach or busy individual, period. Your offensive coordinator is easily the busiest guy on the team, in my mind, as a coach. And he certainly is very involved there because he has to be, because he calls the plays. But on the other hand, he's got overall team responsibility. This has been a year that called on him to cover a lot of ground. He's really used his pedigree. He's been around this so much, and he's got natural instincts when it comes to allocation of where he's best needed at the moment. That's during the week as well. So I'm real pleased with it.
Jerry, we've got Pro Bowl teams that are being announced today. Have you guys gotten any sort of indication or hint that any of your guys got honored this year?
Yes, and I have a complete list, and won't give it out. It'll be announced by the league. But yes, we do, and we've got some very deserving guys on there.
And Jerry, you guys play on Thanksgiving every year. You're getting another short week holiday draw with Christmas. So do you like getting that opportunity to play on Christmas, or would you and the players rather just have normal rest each year when December rolls around?
No, always, we seemed, over my years of experience in football, young as a player, I always wanted to have it get over into the Thanksgiving area. I like the combination of it. And we played on Thanksgiving Day every year that I was in high school. And I enjoyed that game and had a festive aspect to it. Bottom line is that the holiday season and football really fit together in my life. So I do enjoy a Christmas Day game, or I enjoy a Thanksgiving Day game.
Jerry, last thing, is the plan still for Dak and the rest of the starters to be full go moving forward the rest of this year, final two games?
But the plan certainly is, as we go into we go up here in Washington, it is, and I see no reason why we can't do the same thing. I understand the thought, and I understand the balances that we look at here, but we'll measure it all and keep in mind that the health of a key player like Dak.
Jerry, thank you so much for the time as always and the honest answers. Happy holidays to you and the family, and good luck Thursday.
Thank you guys very much, and I mean it. Merry Christmas.
Back at you. Jerry Jones, brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.